Hey everybody. Today's episode is a bit of an experiment that needs a little explaining. Here's the backstory. I don't like making phone calls, but I love leaving voicemails. A great friend of mine who lives above the Arctic Circle in Alaska, he and I rarely talk on the phone, but we leave long voicemails to each other, cracking jokes, giving updates, sharing insights, etc. It's a remarkable exchange. So I thought it could be of interest to share some voicemail exchanges with some of my more contemplative-minded friends.
This is the Contemplify Podcast, where we kindle the examined life through artful musings on contemplative masters. Each episode delivers a subtly intoxicating exchange on the contemplative lifestyle. Contemplify.
Hey Charlie, Paul Swanson here. Hope this finds you well. Was just listening to your latest record, Stump Jumper. Really digging it. I recalled the time, maybe, 10 years ago, when you played at our pie eating concert back in Minneapolis at my buddy Matt's house. He was kind enough to let me live in his back porch and tend to the garden. And amidst the pies and the food, and you playing, and I perched my chair on the roof of the back porch. I was sitting there with my pie and my pint, and you were playing, and all of a sudden you broke into your song, the 1922 Blues, still a favorite of mine. I couldn't help but dance on that roof for the whole city to witness. That was a night for the ages. Anyhow, Charlie, I've always admired your craft of songwriting, the stories, the images, the metaphors, beautiful turns of phrases. Makes me think you're a great reader. Spends a lot of time between the pages while on the road. I'm curious, Charlie, is there any book that comes to mind that really floated your boat of recent? A book that maybe that calls to you? One that you might recommend to me? Looking forward to hearing what that book is. Look forward to talking later. Take care, Charlie. We'll see you somewhere down the line.
Hi, you've reached the voicemail of Paul Swanson. I'm not so good at returning voicemails. If you can, text me. That'd be great. If not, I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Hey, Paul. It's Charlie. So this book, I was going to tell you about this book. It's called Payne Hollow. It's spelled Payne, Hollow. It's by a man named Harlan Hubbard, Hubbard. The subtitle is Life on the Fringe of Society. And I was traveling on one of my tours. I was in Fort Collins, Colorado. And over the past few years, I've developed a kind of a large network of friends who, we trade books back and forth. We, save books for each other. And one of my very best friends' name is Jimmy, and he lives out in Fort Collins. And I was out there, and he handed me this book, and he told me that it had changed his life. You say that about a lot of stuff. So I took it, and I started reading it right away, and I can safely say that it changed my life as well. I've always kind of been attracted to, trying to live a simpler life, trying to appreciate things as I find them, and trying to work on, being satisfied. And this book absolutely brought that home to me. Harlan and his wife Anna built a shanty boat in the 40s and basically drifted down the Ohio River and into the Mississippi and on down into the Gulf area. And he wrote a book about that. It's called Shanty Boat, and it's a wonderful book as well. But then they sold the shanty boat and drove back up into Ohio and Kentucky and found this little spot that they had discovered on their shanty boat trip called Payne Hollow. And they built themselves a house there and lived on the river for the rest of their lives. And the book is basically just kind of an account of their lives and kind of the act of acceptance and simplicity that they strove to achieve and really did achieve. And it's inspiring. It's kind of, in a way, it's kind of beyond inspiring for me, who, always kind of felt like I've, wanted that kind of a life, not necessarily, a house on the side of the Ohio River, but just the attitude, I guess, towards life. I want to, have a simple and clear life where I can accept things and kind of look forward to those little things that to me, the smallest things make up the biggest part of life. So yeah, these are the things that really got to me. And the book is basically just an account of Harlan and Anna's life there on the river. I'm gonna read to you the last little bit of the book, just because it kind of sums it up pretty good for me. It goes, "We live on a frontier, and a clear vision can see the wilderness extending into the unknown distance. To keep this view ever before us is not easy. Civilization becomes more clamorous and insistent. It is in a way to dominate the earth. Nature seems already to have lost some of its vitality and health. The river is polluted. The very stars are tampered with. Even in Payne Hollow, the situation seems almost hopeless on a Sunday afternoon in summer when the outboards go skittering over the surface of the river and the hellish sounds come from all quarters. I turn within, let the day pass. Then, early Monday morning, when I go down to the shore, the quiet river seems newly created. Mist lifts from the smooth water, creeps up into Payne Hollow, and rises skyward until it catches the light of the morning sun. My faith is renewed, and I rejoice after my own fashion." So, I don't know if this is for everybody, if everybody feels the same way about, kind of life is sometimes unnecessarily complicated, and sometimes we do it to ourselves. But this book put that in perspective for me and really helped me to get clear about my little chunk, I guess. So I think, it's hard to find. Harlan Hubbard. Both of his books are kind of hard to find, I think, but they're out there, and I think they're well worth the effort of looking for them. All right. Thanks, Paul.
My thanks to Charlie Parr for being on the podcast. Here's what the magazine No Depression says about Charlie Parr. Taking acoustic blues and folk to the darkest edges of town via driving arrangements which emphasize steam-driven tempos and a doom-slinging attitude over spit and polished studio shine, Parr nonetheless managed to sound both breathtakingly immediate and authentically antiquated at the same time. You can find Charlie Parr's latest album, Stump Jumper, at his website, charlieparr.com, as well as all of his previous albums. And at a minimum, you gotta check out his song, The 1922 Blues. It remains one of my top 5 favorite songs. A couple of things before we go. First, thanks again for listening to Contemplify. If you're enjoying the show and want to support the podcast, please add your review to iTunes. It really helps get the word out there about Contemplify. Secondly, if you heard the name of a person or a book that you'd be curious to learn more about, you can always find the names of those people and those books on this episode's show notes on contemplify.com. Thanks again, and look forward to bringing you more episodes soon.